Part 4. Your go-to actions. It's vitally important to always remain focused and to set goals. To achieve those goals requires tons of hard work, dedication, and mindfulness, especially if you set a high bar for yourself, which of course you must. If you remember to work with PMA along the way, huge boulders blocking your way become pebbles you can simply kick from your path. First things first. When you wake up in the morning, set your mind on the positive frequency and think of the victories you'll have over the course of your day and on all you will accomplish. Do not lie there, roll over, hit snooze, and scratch what needs scratching. Scratch it on the way to your corkboard. Look at all your tasks for the day and plan to take action. Doubts, bad thoughts, and resistance tend to take root, especially in the morning. So as soon as you open your eyes, say your prayers or whatever you do to express gratitude, jump out of bed, shower, make a juice, and get at it. Don't lay around contemplating what if. Instead, take action. All the enemy mind needs is a single loophole, the slightest of crack in your warrior armor, and your morning will be a wreck along with the rest of your day. Don't let the enemy mind get that toehold. Beat that sucker down with a stick. As the Marines say, carpe diem, seize the day. There is no app for this. Top CEOs who get big things done went to a meditation retreat run by this cat named Jon Kabat-Zinn. John's been practicing meditation and teaching it for 47 years. He started doing it as a way to help people cure their medical conditions. Yeah, a positive mindset could do that. Well, the first thing he did was make reporter Anderson Cooper and the rest give up their electronic devices. No cell phones, iPods, laptops, TVs, or radios in their room. Even alarm clocks weren't allowed. No distractions whatsoever. The retreatants were just to be present in the moment. So they quieted their minds and watched their thoughts. Each time the mind went off, they brought it back under control. They practiced eating in the moment, walking in the moment, even showering in the moment. They also had amazing discussions. These days, when I go out and eat, I watch how people interact. Many barely talk, just tap, 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 tap on their little devices. They never even look at one another or what they're eating. Human interaction is decreasing with the rise of technology. Even when walking down the street, people don't look at one another. They've become texting zombies, commenting on posts on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter as if what they're writing is of biblical importance. As a native New Yorker who was raised on the streets, I find it imperative to look around. I have to look people in the eyes. That was once a survival tactic for me. Now I just love human interaction. Not to mention that you have to watch your back, because there are still some crazy-ass dangerous people walking these streets. Needless to say, tech zombies are easy prey for them. Anyway, the rewards the people at Kabat-Zinn's retreat attained were so amazing that they went back to their companies and had their employees do 10 minutes of mindful meditation a day. Google was one of those companies. They now start employee meetings with 100 people in an auditorium, meditating and being in the moment. Do you know what happened at those companies? Productivity has skyrocketed. The benefits of mindfulness can affect every aspect of your life. Your career, your social experiences, your spiritual life, and your physical and emotional health. So when was the last time you meditated for even a few minutes? Meditation is vitally important. I gave you an exercise to help you extract yourself from the rat race, and I'm going to repeat myself here. Wake up and quiet the mind. Spend time being silent, reflective, in the moment. Take inventory of your thoughts and slow down the relentless flow of bullshit. Go outside and walk down the street and pay attention to everything. Your breath, your thoughts, the people, the birds scrambling for crumbs. Watch every one of your steps. We take so much in life for granted. The other day I saw a young man with cerebral palsy using a walker. The struggle he endured just to make it down the block was incredible. Yet he was smiling, while many people with healthy bodies were grumpy as hell. I actually took a moment then and thanked God for the opportunity to appreciate what I too had taken for granted. If you're working on developing a positive mental attitude, how the hell do you expect to do that if you let life's moments pass you by while you're caught up in gadget land, constantly texting, checking email, your Facebook status, your stocks, posting photos on Instagram? It can all wait. Unplug, people. Experience life. Have conversations. Dig people's vibes. That's not hippie shit, but happy shit. That is PMA in action. Start by allocating time in the morning to mindfulness. No gadgets. None. Zip. Zero. Zilch. Get up and sit silently in a room you didn't sleep in. Have a meditation area in your home. Sit and take inventory. Focus on your goals. You could even try it at 2 in the afternoon when the stress of the day is starting to get to you. Rather than having a meltdown, turn inward. It's been proven that people who meditate for even a few minutes a day have a better mental attitude, are more productive, and the real kicker, they're happier. A trait common to unhappy people is loneliness. Sometimes it stems from a lack of social interaction. Many are so addicted to social media that they forget to talk to anyone in real life. This is a sickening trend these days, especially with young people in the U.S. and everywhere else in the world. Adults are guilty of it too, and it's no wonder that as a species we're becoming some of the most miserable fuckers to ever walk the earth. Some people are completely distracted by the constant bombardment their gadgets offer them from the moment they open their eyes in the morning until their heads touch the pillow at night. They walk around devoid of any real contact with others and missing any genuine contact with their own bodies, minds, and emotions. And holy shit, if I even say hello to one of these people on the street, they go into total shock mode. It does not compute. Danger, danger. Run, Will Smith. He panics as if I'm putting a gun to his head about to murder his ass. See me? I come from an age before all this technology. I'm not saying technology doesn't have its advantages, but it shouldn't control every waking moment, making us shells of ourselves. Reducing interactions between humans limits our growth. We need one another. I enjoy meeting people and conversing. I've become much more mindful these days. I never take things for granted and never, ever walk down the street while texting. I try to absorb every experience life has to offer and realize what gifts those experiences are. I know I am at least on the path, and no doubt it's hard work to stay there, but one of the byproducts of my path, I'm pretty fucking happy. You can be too. Yo, zip it. There's nothing worse than a flapper, meaning someone who's constantly flapping his gums but never getting his ass into gear. Flappers tell you about all the amazing things they have going on. Then a week later you find them making excuses for why their so-called master plan never manifested. The funny thing is, with all the social media available, people bragging about all the things they're going to do has hit the point of ridiculousness. Then when you search their stuff a week later, it's like, yo, big mouth, where'd you go? This talking gum disease infects flappers even during important times, such as when someone is trying to educate or instruct them on how to move forward. They never hear what their instructors say because their minds are either thinking about how to respond or they're already talking, trying to show their abundant knowledge. In the end, they stay stuck on stupid. So the first step in getting moving and in receiving any type of knowledge is to open your ears and hear. In Sanskrit, hearing is called Shravanam. You hear, then you remember, Smaranam. If you get those two down, you can then try to apply yourself to the endeavor. Even in the traditional martial arts, you have to bow humbly before your sensei and ask to be instructed. You don't walk into a dojo and talk shit as if you're the all-knowing demigod-like badass. That all-knowing shit is called false ego. And you can be sure the sensei will make an example out of you very quickly. Even me great Irish Aunt Betty Perk always said in her deep, gravelly smoker's voice, "You got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so sip it and listen twice as much as you talk." I'm not really a book guy. I mean, sure, I read, but not like the kind of people who read a dozen books a month. Most of what I've gained, I've received through a personal connection with the teacher. The teacher talked, I listened. That was my process for learning to retain knowledge. Had I been talking, I wouldn't have heard what the teacher had to say. I've also discovered over the years that the best teachers are also the best listeners. They have to be, because they lead by example. They too had to hear from their teacher, their guru, their sensei, and then apply the knowledge. When they did, they became qualified to instruct others. This holds true in any teacher-student scenario. Every type of teacher in every field, from spiritual gurus to master martial artists, to great writers, to athletes, to spec op warriors, has had to listen to a teacher, remember what was taught, and apply the lessons. Hear submissively and then be a doer, not just a talker. Follow through on commitments and projects no matter how big or small they are. Once you start the process of becoming a student who listens, remembers, and acts, that energy will carry over into all aspects of your life. It's part of maintaining PMA. Never stop pushing ahead and never stop hearing. Listen carefully to your teachers. Hearing properly is actually a science. If you sit 10 people down with a speaker and then ask each what he or she heard, I guarantee you there will be 10 different answers. Even this book, you're hearing what's written here, right? Rest assured, my dumb ass didn't come up with all this info. I simply heard properly for years from the many amazing teachers I've met, and now, as part of my action plan, I'm sharing it with you. Take notes. Memory is tricky. I write things down. Even in business meetings, I ask if the other participants mind if I take notes. Why? Because I don't want there to be discrepancies between what I heard and later what people say was said. I cannot drive home enough the value of proper hearing. It's vitally important. Start by quieting your mind and shutting your mouth. Proof of your good hearing is your ability to apply what you learned. When you turn instruction into action, try it. I guarantee that this method will help you get your shit done and raise the level of your performance. Pay attention to who gets things done and who flakes. Most of the top-tier achievers are expert listeners. Although it may seem deceptively simple on the surface, the hearing process is actually deep. I've noticed a direct correlation between those who get their tasks done and their ability to pay attention to the detail through what they learned through proper hearing. The opposite is also true. Those who tend not to finish tasks seem to always be talking when the teacher is talking, as if they know a better way. Their way, of course. Later, they complain about how life sucks and blah, blah, fucking blah. The fact is, if they'd zipped their lips and heard properly, then followed through from there, things would change for them. I have many friends who are much more accomplished than me in many areas. I would love for some of what they got to rub off on me. So do you know what I do? Inquire submissively from them, and I shut the fuck up. The devil is in the details, so I pay attention to detail. Again, that's why they drill listening and attention to detail into your head in the military. What if you're sent into combat with life and limb on the line? You're dealing with the highest level of value and risk. They know full well that it's human nature to choose the path of least resistance. That's never the right path, though, when it really matters. If everything you do is easy because you took the path of least resistance, then you need to question how high you set the bar and how difficult your challenges are. I guarantee that if you look at that, you'll realize you've set it too low and have seriously underestimated your potential and ability. Risk and the level of reward. Those who never risk anything and prefer the path of least resistance will live lives with little meaning, quiet lives of desperation. Not me. I always want to push the envelope, become self-realized, do yet another Ironman, write more books, movies, TV shows, feed all the homeless people in New York City and other shit, and I want to do it all by 6 o'clock tonight. I know that's not possible, but you get my point. Do you know what the thing is about my goals, dreams, and desires? They all began with me willing to take a risk. Many great opportunities have come my way because I was willing to risk something. Even if I failed at some of the things I've risked, I've learned valuable lessons. And those lessons allowed me to try harder or try differently the next time. Taking risks builds confidence and courage. As I said earlier, opportunities knock, but you still have to kick the fucking door down. And not knowing what's on the other side, therein lies the risk. But taking risks should never be done half-ass. You have to be serious and apply yourself 100% all of the time. When I went to take a scuba lesson, one of the first things the instructor said was, pay very close attention to everything I'm telling you. Take notes. You can die doing this. There's that hearing thing again. See, if we're going to step out and risk in a big way, expecting big rewards, we need to hear properly. Risk is a great teacher. You need to be a great student. If self-esteem is the bright side of risk, fear and failure are the dark, shadowy side. That's why people create buffers between themselves and their families and anything that might be dangerous. Bubble wrapped in a tidy world. I see that a lot with parents these days. They don't even want their kids to go out and get a few bumps and bruises in any pursuit, or to punch a bully who needs punching. Rather, they want to protect their kids from the kind of life experience that might toughen them up a bit and teach them to reach for the fruit hanging higher up in the tree. Kids need a thick skin to survive life, and that's exactly what risk gives them. I'm in no way suggesting I'm an expert on parenting, but I know what worked for me as a kid. Kids don't have to face the kinds of dangers I faced in order to take risks. They have to come up against adversity, though, and be presented intellectually or physically or artistically or in some other way with more than they think they can actually do. A little pressure helps a kid step out of the world of easy kudos, of sixth-place trophies, and into a world of actually working to develop themselves where they're molded into go-getters. It all starts with stepping out of one's comfort zone and taking a risk. True for kids, true for adults. The fact is, the world is a risky place with unpredictable plot twists, no matter how many buffers we may try and put in place, and things will always come up despite our best efforts. So my advice is to be fearless, go out, risk more, and again, fear less. Embracing risk will ultimately help you overcome fear of failure in other aspects of your life. You have my money-back guarantee on that. Gratitude equals attitude. Let me ask you something. As you go about your daily routine of work, kids, training, school, or whatever, do you take time to stop and give thanks for your life's gifts? The beautiful array of colors at a sunrise or sunset, the smell of fragrant flowers, the smile of a stranger, kind words from a friend, all gifts. If you answered not lately, or worse, never, please pay close attention. The problem I have with our culture's obsession with social media, nonsense gossip, TV talk shows, and them whack-ass reality shows is that they draw us even further from the internal and the important, leaving us wallowing in the shallow, the mundane. In that state, we lose sight of what really matters in our short time on earth, such as telling people we care about them, being kind, helping others, and always remembering the principle of gratitude. When we overcomplicate our minds by filling them with so much inferior bullshit and plug our energy and beings into a system that dictates that we must live only in a certain way, a way that leaves no room for self-realization, our hearts can easily harden. We become, in fact, nothing more than polished animals, simply eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And oh, how we love to defend in every way possible. From our own personal, day-to-day conflicts, where we argue like cats and dogs, to nations like the U.S., which have made huge leaps and bounds in making war a big business. Actually, war is now the norm in America. But any combat warrior will tell you that war is a societal ill, not a virtue. Only wannabe Rambos who never seen a day of combat glorify it. Yes, we work hard as hell for a little sense gratification at the end of the day, and we've developed distractions galore to help us ignore that haunting question lurking in the back of our mind. Why am I here? Now the alarm has gone off to wake us up from sleep. Waking is the first step in the process. Then, like children, we have to spend every day soaking up knowledge. Look at the awe in the face of a young child encountering something new, the gratitude and appreciation they have for it. It's really a wonderful quality, and unfortunately, one we tend to lose as we grow older and more conditioned when we become those serious adults. My life changed dramatically when I started to inject the principle of gratitude into my daily practice, when I saw everything as a gift and gave thanks for it. My whole attitude shifted. We plant seeds and then harvest the seeds we sow. I'm the farmer who every day plants seeds of PMA. When I was new to meditation, one of the first things I was taught was to slow down, breathe, relax, take inventory, think of all the good in my life, appreciate it. Essentially, to stop taking people and things for granted and develop gratitude. I found when I felt gratitude first thing in the morning that I was able to walk around in a positive mood all day. I had that PMA. We have so much in America and the Western world, yet we continuously focus on what we don't have. Yet that just leads to hankering, overconsumption, and ultimately anxiety. I just went to Jamaica in January 2019. I didn't stay at one of the all-inclusive resorts locked away from the locals. I went out and experienced the island's culture, soaked up the knowledge of the Rasta medicine men, their science of roots and herbs, healing fruits and vegetables. Many people on the island live way below what we in the States would consider the poverty line, but they always seem to be smiling and happy, and they're grateful for even the smallest of gestures from their visitors. So be grateful for everything, even the bad stuff. In my memoir, The Evolution of a Cro-Magnon, I even thanked my asshole scumbag father for being a dickhead, and I meant it. I did it because I had to recognize that how he treated me made me who I am today. Even the foster father who beat my ass and starved us, I now thank. Tests, even traumas, are there for a reason. Be thankful for those and do what you can to grow from them. It's said that gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more of it you express, the more likely you will find even more to be grateful for. This is an important principle for those interested in attaining PMA. People take so much for granted. A healthy body, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, even as we unconsciously stuff it in our face. but sit back before you chow down the next time and take a moment to think about the abundant variety of fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, grains, the colors and fragrances of the herbs and spices, and all of it coming from the dirt. I'm not pushing God on anyone, but I thank Krishna every time I eat, and before I eat, I offer my food back to him because I'm grateful to be able to eat food that can heal my body and give me energy. And to the scientists who claim it's all molecules, I say, okay, start with nothing. Start from scratch and make me even one fucking grain of basmati rice. Remember to have gratitude for every area of your life. Be thankful for friendships, a great meal, or the fact that you're healthy enough to run, bike, exercise, or work at anything at all. Practice an attitude of gratitude. Always remain in the consciousness that nothing is owed to you. The entitled can never be happy. I've seen that one personally. People who rely on their past laurels as if because they had a hit record or movie 25 years ago, the world should kiss their fucking asses. Don't fall into that trap. Be grateful for every day your eyes open and you are given more time on this planet. When you develop that type of gratitude, you won't waste time. Time will be valuable to you. Stick firmly to this principle. Develop an attitude of gratitude and watch how quickly positive things manifest in every aspect of your life. They ain't just words. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habit. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Lao Tzu. I mentioned this in the last section, but now I will elaborate on it because PMA is a process and words can poison the process if you're not careful. As I said before, the tongue is the most voracious and difficult to control. It wants to talk shit, eat shit, and cause shit. The thing is, you can never really recall your words. Be very careful, then diligent about what you say. Think before you speak. What are the likely repercussions of my words? Am I about to give the best possible answer? Did I consider all the options before I dispensed advice? Am I motivated by kindness by what I'm about to say? Out of every possible thing Don Miguel could have written in his book, he chose to tell us to be impeccable with our word. Don Miguel knew that a big factor in the direction your life takes and the lives of others take is affected by which words you choose to speak. Your words shape minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years of your life and the lives of others. Give serious consideration before you let them manifest in the air. Think about the butterfly effect and how you're not exempt. Try not to say things you'll regret. You do have the choice to use your words to encourage and heal others. Doing that will find you taking huge strides in your PMA. When you speak, you plant seeds of beautiful fruits and flowers or weeds. So think twice. Hell, think 3 times before you speak. If the pen is mightier than the sword, use the power of your words to do good, to help others, to never put others down. Remember, what comes around goes around. I have to say that in my own experience, taking the advice of friend and bandmate AJ Novello from Leeway and the Cro-Mags on this changed the energy in my life. He told me never to speak ill of others, even those who did me grimy. It was hard fucking advice to follow, but gradually I did it. I put his instruction into action and created an aura of positive energy around me. Then positive people were drawn to me, and along with them came positive things. All possible because I redirected wasted energy on negative words to getting my shit done. These days, I do what my friend does when someone is talking trash about somebody else. Try to change the topic. If that doesn't work, I walk away. Gossip is almost always an expression of envy. The minute I let go of all that small-time gossip and shit-talking, the moment I chose a different road in my life, everything changed for the better, including my circle of friends. I've stayed friends with people who are growing. Those who choose stagnation and dwelling in the negative, I had to leave behind along with their highway to hell. Many still talk shit and spread poisonous lies and gossip, but we don't have to listen to that anymore. Let your days and nights be consumed with speaking positive words and trying to make positive things happen in your life as well as in the lives of others. And you know what? It works. I'm on my 3rd book, and the other 2 I wrote have helped a shitload of people. See? Watching my words worked. Confidence is the cat. I recently saw an incredible video on the internet. An alligator had turned up in some people's backyard, and as they were filming the 7-foot monster stepping out of the water behind their home, their small cat appeared out of nowhere. The cat's hackles were raised and it looked ready to strike. Its attitude caused the massive beast with jaws of death to stop in its tracks. The cat stared down the alligator, blocking its path, confident, sure of itself, ready to protect its territory at any cost, and not seeming to consider that the alligator outweighed it by hundreds of pounds and it could snap it up in half a second. The alligator even opened its mouth and showed its teeth as if to say, "Hey buddy, you see these?" But the cat was not shaken one fucking iota. Actually, I thought, as did the people filming, that the encounter was going to end badly for the cat. But lo and behold, this little house cat's confidence was through the roof. Nothing in its head told it, even for a split second, that it couldn't defend itself and its owner's property. Their stare down lasted for over a minute, each stalking the other. Then the cat released a lightning-quick paw strike to the alligator's face, and the gator spun around and ran like hell back into the water. The point of the story is that confidence comes from practice, determination, and a never-back-down will and persistence to improve. There's no room for hacks at Confidence Camp. Think of all the mice and birds that cat had probably stalked, and just how much patience that took. Or the dozens of dogs it had probably stared down before that alligator turned up. The cat had likely had plenty of practice. That cat kicked the alligator's ass because it was confident. The cat did the work. It put in the hours. Life is a confidence game. How you live it is your choice. And if you hold on to your choices for long enough, they become a state of mind, a way of life. PMA is all about confidence. The confidence to win at any cost because you, like that cat, have put in the work. Confidence is the be-all and end-all. And I'm not referring to the false ego-bolstered confidence here. That's not confidence. I'm talking about the confidence that's based on knowing who you really are, which starts with putting in the work to discover who you are, remaining willing to learn, trying new ways of doing things, and getting better at what you're doing. This is hard work, and it requires humility. Sounds counterintuitive, but the kind of confidence I'm talking about is based on humility. It takes years of work and a constant willingness to invest in self-truth. That's the way you get an air of confidence about you. And the catch-22 is, you don't go around waving a flag in your honor. You stay grounded and humble because you are grounded and humble. That's why when kids are having confidence issues and being bullied, I tell parents to take them to the dojo. Have them learn martial arts. They'll develop a skill set that will bring confidence. Martial arts teaches its students to respect themselves and others, to stay humble, to bow out of respect, and confidence, not fear. My nephew and godson Blaze became an amazing young man because he spent his early years in the dojo learning these secrets. Now he walks with his chin up, but he's humble and always remains ready to help others. Trust me, he's a badass black belt who spars in MMA with dudes twice his age and comes out on top. As a matter of fact, some kids in his high school actually tried to bully him because he was quiet. Blaze warned them that he had a black belt and didn't want to hurt them. And I quote, "But I will hurt you if you attack me," end quote. Well, those kids looked at some videos on YouTube of Blaze fighting in the cage, and that was the end of the bullying. So my message is this: pay your dues, get better at whatever it is you're doing, and develop your skills. Real confidence is a byproduct of hard work, and when you get it, you become like that cat. Then if you ever end up face to face with a situation like the cat and the gator, you'll have the same outcome as the cat. Confidence for the win. When that cheese gets moved. Now, before the vegan social justice warriors with a stick up their ass come hunt me down, let me say that I don't eat cheese. That's not what this is about. What I'm referring to is a great book called Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. The cheese in his book represents what we want in life, our idea of what will make us happy. For some, that's career. For others, it's spiritual growth, PMA, fitness, family, money, a mansion, a new car, whatever. It's also about what happens when we lose what we have in life. Spencer used the analogy of a mouse in a maze looking for the cheese. Not so different from what we humans look for when we spend time in our own maze of groups, organizations, and relationships. The whole thing boils down to one's ability to be able to adjust to changing circumstances and loss. As I said earlier, when we're resilient, we develop new muscles and new neurons that keep us wired to the moment. Resilience keeps us flexible, young, on our toes, able to tackle new obstacles with enthusiasm. When you're able to do that, a whole world of opportunities awaits. We do want to leave our bad qualities, negativity, resistance, and self-doubt on the road behind us, right? Well, in order to do that, we have to remain open to traveling new roads, even ones we're unsure of that may be intimidating. Change is always uncertain. That's why it's natural to want to resist it. But if we truly want to grow, then we have to break away from our conditioned responses and find new ways. We have to look for new directions, get uncomfortable, embrace the suck, as the Marines say. If you go for it, there will inevitably be some sort of loss along the way. And so the fear. There's an old expression, you want to have your cake and eat it too. But we can't. We have to let things go. We have to surrender to triumph. Sometimes the loss will be of friendships. Say you choose to get sober. What would you be afraid of? Perhaps losing social status? That you'll be alone because all of your friends drink? But if those friendships revolve only around getting high or drunk, then they're anchoring you to a life you no longer want. Narcotics Anonymous has it right. People, places, and things. If any of those three revolve around intoxication, you'll have to let it go. Besides, some time alone to face yourself is vital in really comprehending who the hell you are. That's what most people fear, facing that truth. And if you make the changes, the people who see you as that new person will find you. There's a whole new group of positive friends out there waiting. I know. I found them. I have made many new friends since I began trying to fix myself. My circumstances always forced me to live with a constantly changing paradigm. I was never allowed to get comfortable. Whenever I did, bam, here comes the next curveball, a whole new set of circumstances. Honestly, those times in my childhood have helped me deal with change as an adult. Even change accompanied by great loss. Change has made me more resilient. The fact is, this material world is constantly changing, so we should expect change. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, and I quote, Time I am the great destroyer of the worlds, end quote. We can't fight change. We have to embrace it. Learn to see your life philosophically. It will change your perspective. Things I once saw as negative events, I now realize had to happen. And I appreciate what I learned from them. What you should take away from this is the idea that change is going to happen and that new opportunities are found in that change. New cheese, so to speak. So again, go back to that corkboard and map out some things you'd like to change and then go for it. Plot your course like a mouse in a maze, hell-bent on finding that cheese. Be all in. Engage your mind, senses, intelligence, and most importantly, your spirit fully in that change. You'll be pleasantly surprised at what you can accomplish. Things will change quickly for you. To the degree we surrender to change, to that degree we'll reap the rewards. It's up to you though. As long as you stay resilient and open to a changing paradigm, you can and will achieve your goals. I order you fuckers to laugh. I have to say that people with no sense of humor, along with religious fanatics, political psychopaths, and people who say they don't like music, scare the living shit out of me. The fact is, laughter breaks up a lot of tense, fucked up moments and is good for the soul. I credit having a sense of humor to surviving everything I had to go through. Even as kids, while my two brothers and I were getting the shit beat out of us every day, working like slaves, starved, forced to eat dog food and worse by that evil foster family, we always seemed to find ways to joke about most of what was happening to us. Like I said, laughter's a survival skill. Here's an example. We were only allowed to bathe twice a month because our scumbag foster parents didn't want to run up their water bill. All the foster kids had to use the same bath water. Think about how nasty that was if you were the sixth one to get into that tub. We also had to maintain some level of dignity so that we weren't further picked on at school for being the dirty orphans. What I did was heist the key to the local gas station bathroom. Then every other morning or so, on the way to school, we'd sneak into that filthy, disgusting bathroom, strip off our clothes, and lather up with the greasy bar of soap on the sink. The three of us would dance around singing songs. Laughter and humor were how we coped. They served us well for the entire 6+ years we spent in that foster home from hell. You can't even imagine the difficult road my mother traveled in life. Raped and beaten constantly by my scumbag old man. Depressed, suicidal, her kids taken away. 2 major surgeries, one for her heart and the other her spine. Homelessness. Laughter also helped her tremendously. To this day, she continues to be one funny lady. We've been through hell as a family, but we remain resilient because we had the gift of laughter when things got crazy. I will never forget what one older woman told me when I was a kid. When you laugh, the whole world laughs with you, and when you cry alone. I get it. Everyone goes through bad times. The last thing anyone needs is to constantly hear about how your life sucks. Blunt, but sorry, it's the truth. Stop bitching and laugh a little. Change your energy. Shit, I did. No one knew what happened to me as a kid because I kept it a secret. Then I wrote my first book, The Evolution of a Cro-Magnon. It's chock full of crazy stories, and no surprise, it's also really fucking funny. Many people commented after reading it that they couldn't believe I'd gone through what I had because I seemed so happy. But my happiness is a choice. Don't get me wrong, I've had my moments, but laughter always changed my mood overall, along with my mental and physical health. There's medical evidence to back up what I'm saying here. Dr. Lee Burke at Loma Linda University School of Medicine, California, did a study that shows that laughter, happiness, and joy inspire the immune system to create white T cells, commonly called happy cells, which prevent infection. He also found that laughter, as a preventative therapy in diabetes care, raises good cholesterol and lowers inflammation. Laughter also increases blood oxygen levels and gives you more energy. It boosts immunity, lowers stress hormones, decreases pain, helps prevent heart disease, lowers blood pressure, and more. So I guess it's true what they say. Laughter really is the best medicine. But it doesn't only work wonders on the body, it helps your mental state too, because it brings joy, eases anxiety and fear, relieves stress, improves your mood, enhances your ability to be resilient, and I'll add, helps you develop PMA. I enjoy spending time with funny people, and I love comedies. Not comedy writers, though. Most seem to be depressed as hell. Robert McKee jokingly told us one day in his writing class that some people he knew were having a party. Someone suggested they invite comedy writers to brighten things up. Sure, till the paramedics arrive. Funny and so true of most of the comedy writers I've ever met. Do yourself a favor. The next time you're having a bad moment or day, try to laugh it off. The sad truth is, things can always be worse. Things can spiral downward quickly if you let them. So laugh at yourself too. Shit, I do it all the time. I'm still amazed at what a fuck up I can be. The dumb things I've said and done. The difference is I don't beat myself up over it anymore. Neither should you when you screw up. Don't take things so seriously. I was at a friend's house and saw a frame hanging on a wall. It had a small stick in it that said, and I quote, "Life sucked, and then I took the stick out of my ass," end quote. He said his brother had given it to him for his birthday, and it was spot on. He laughed like hell, too. So forget the Prozac or any of that shit. You don't need it. What you need is the meds of laughter. Try it. You'll live longer and will certainly make more friends. Keep that dream alive. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. Many years ago, I was talking to some people about writing movies, books, and touring with my band. Some people said I should look for a real job. Well, 2 books later, one released by a major publisher, a screenplay, a new band, and an album, I guess I have a real job after all. See? Keeping my kid-like attitude worked. The fact is, I never stopped dreaming, and I never stopped with the follow-through. That's the difference between a child dreamer and an adult dreamer. As adults, we have the facility and the wherewithal to actually try to attain what we've pinned to our corkboards. We can take constructive action every day and chip away at the goal. The ups and downs and the breakthroughs, all part of the process. Always seek out and make friends with people who also have the ability to dream and who are going for it. We need to nurture these types of relationships. I was in a relationship once where the girl was so negative that any time I dared to dream, she shot it down. Even when I got the big record deal I'd been working so hard toward, she didn't congratulate me. The news was met instead with negative, toxic words. She'd quit everything she'd ever started. She was living in a mental hell, and I let her drag me into it. Everyone who cared about me commented on my attitude and my weight because it was changing. I was depressed. I ate like a beast to numb the pain. I ate to the point where it hurt to move. I ballooned. I felt like crap. It took me years to climb out of that hole. But the first clawing upward involved dumping her ass. You have to be committed to move forward constantly, moving in the direction of your dreams with unrelenting courage. To do this, constantly monitor your association. I like to use the analogy that if you're rowing a boat out to sea, you don't want your anchor stuck in the beach sand. Negative people are worse than anchors. They're like cracks in the hull that will eventually fill your boat with water, dash your dreams on the rocks, and fucking drown you. I hope I'm getting through to you on this point because it's serious business. Always be aware of the destination and goals you've assigned yourself. Keep them always in your mind. Then somehow or other, stay inspired to attain them. Positive relationships are key to maintaining your inspiration, and fear is your biggest obstacle. But fear is in the mind. Those who can't quiet the enemy mind and push past it remain paralyzed, and in turn may even try to paralyze others. Having dreams energizes your life. It brings a daily sense of PMA, but it has to start somewhere. So get the corkboard, get a journal, and fill the pages with hopes, dreams, and plans. In his science fiction novel, Dune, Frank Herbert creates a mantra to conquer fear, and I quote, "I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain." End quote. Someone recently asked me if I kept a journal. Shit, yeah, I do. It's on my computer in a file entitled, "Shut the fuck up, enemy mind. I'm working here." And to all you macho dudes, it's okay. Keeping a journal doesn't mean you're weak or a sissy. What it means is you're writing down your emotions as you work hard. What that does is allow you to monitor success and failure and see where your head was at during those times. Have you ever watched a motivational speaker, the late Dr. Wayne Dyer, give a talk? I have. I love that guy. He walked around on stage barefoot, dropping science. On more than one occasion, I was dealing with something and caught him on PBS talking about that exact thing, including the know-how, what to do about it. Life's funny like that. There's always someone, a messenger, if you will, who turns up right when you need him or her. The energy waves are out there in the universe, and if you tune your receiver to the growth frequency, you'll find those people. When I was listening to Dyer, I was dealing with some personal issues. I knew I couldn't go back to where I had been. There was no turning back on my journey. I had set a course and had to follow through. It's like I've embarked on a 5-mile ocean swim, and it was now longer to swim back to the shore than to go on past the point of no return. The last thing I needed in the deep ocean of life was for fear to paralyze me. I know fear's in the mind, but I'm human, and I felt it. When it comes, it's nice to hear the words of a brilliant teacher. That day, Dyer spoke about dreaming, and I quote, "One of the huge imbalances in life is the disparity between your daily existence with its routines and habits and the dream you have within yourself of some extraordinary, satisfying way of living. Buried within you is an unlimited capacity for creation that's anxious to plant seedlings to fulfill your dreams and your destiny. The absence of balance between dreams and daily routine can reveal itself in symptoms of depression, illness, or anxiety, but it's more often something that feels like an unwelcome companion by your side, which continually whispers to you that you're ignoring something. You sense that there's a higher agenda. Your way of life and your reason for life are out of balance. Until you pay attention, this subtle visitor will continue to prod you to regain your equilibrium. End quote. I find this so fucking true. When I don't go after my dreams, when I ignore them, I'm constantly disturbed. It's me giving in to resistance. I can never be happy by doing that. By continuing to dream and to act on my dreams, I've become a much happier and more fulfilled person. I feel great empathy and sadness for those who don't dream a life beyond their current circumstances. Something musician and poet Patti Smith recently said between songs at a concert in New York City resonated with me. And I quote, "We are all alive. We have our imaginations, our blood, our heart, and our creative impulse." End quote. We also have a spirit that's calling for us to dream. So have the courage and do it. Go after your dreams with unrelenting determination and joy as a child does. Never stop believing and pushing forward. Never rest on your past laurels, satisfied with what you've achieved thus far. Satisfaction is the death of desire. My world, my rituals.